Hello, I'm Chris Hewitt and welcome to GameShock TV, the show that crams a whole month of gaming into 30 glorious minutes. But there's no need to defeat an end-of-level big boss in order to find out what's in the show this week. I'll just tell you, because I'm nice like that. Coming up, we insult a myriad of celebrities in our quest for the 3DS. We go all driving Miss Daisy with a look at the world of racing games. Avert your impressionable eyes, Mortal Kombat's back. We've got a rundown on the latest releases, and Battlefield 3 gets our jaws dropping. But first, it's a return of an old friend. When Portal came out in 2007, it was an unexpected slice of puzzling fun, the juicy cheddar, if you will, in Valve's orange box, sandwiched between the hammy Team Fortress and the malty goodness of Half-Life 2. Well, now Portal 2 is a meal in its own right, but can Valve serve up more of the same without serving up more of the same? Let's find out. I'm hungry now. Puzzlers tend to be quiet, cerebral affairs designed to train your brain, bolster your memory, or help you ape B-list celebrities by playing with cartoon animals. Portal 2, however, is just as interested in slapping your funny bone and tickling your eyes as it is in assaulting your noggin. For starters, Valve have gone to the trouble of giving the game a decent story. Not unusual in itself, but it's difficult to state just how much a difference it makes to what could have been a relatively repetitive and episodic experience. Your task is to escape the crumbling Aperture testing facility by devising an exit route from a series of chambers. Armed with a portal gun to create doorways between certain types of wall, you're eventually presented with a variety of other tools, from hard light beams to propulsion gel, essentially a bouncy castle in goop form. Sound easy enough? Well, initially it is, as the game takes you through some nicely decayed variations on the original's rooms, helpfully bringing you up to speed. Just when you're in your groove, however, things take a swift turn for the left field, as the puzzles and plots spin off in unexpected directions. Occasionally, you will want to curse out loud and wring Portal 2 by its robotic little neck. But while Valve don't signpost their solutions, they don't leave you high and dry either. The learning curve is perfectly pitched to give you everything you should need to work out the solutions, making it all the more satisfying when you do. It's entirely possible the game would frustrate more than it does if it weren't for the charming and downright hilarious script. As it is, it's hard not to love a game whose villain chirpily disparages you at every turn, and whose killer robots even manage to die in an amusing and slightly pitiful manner. Some superbly written characters add dimensions to the gameplay, and there's a nice dichotomy that sparks your interest throughout. The deliciously sadistic and sarcastic GLaDOS pitted against your happily simplistic robot helper Wheatley, played with no small amount of brilliance by Stephen Merchant. Sometimes it's worth stopping altogether just to take in some of the dialogue.
How have you been?
Oh, I think she likes you.
I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
You did what?
The game is about 3 times bigger than the first Portal, meaning there's plenty to keep you occupied, even if replayability tails off significantly once you've sussed the puzzles. There is one major reason to play on, however, and that's a brand new multiplayer co-op, itself twice as long as Portal 1, but with the added benefit of being able to feel superior to your friends, or in my case, mocked and humiliated. All in all, Portal 2 is a mind-blowing, challenging and utterly superb game, and the best puzzler available today, with the added bonus of not being hosted by plumbers or oddly coloured wildlife. It may not be one you come back to once it's done, but while it lasts, it's a perfect slice of neuron-firing hilarity. And if prancing around sci-fi corridors solving puzzles is your thing, you may also want to keep your eye on Warp. Playing as an alien trying to escape its captors, you must, by happy coincidence, warp your way to safety through a series of ever more challenging obstacles. Armed with the core abilities to sap through walls as well as leap into objects before exploding them, our adorable little alien friend has an endearing cuteness to— What are you doing? You murderous little— Stop it! In addition to the rather left-field gore, the early build has some nice eye-catching moments, and with further abilities mooted for the final game, this looks very promising indeed. So if killing innocent gun-toting beefcakes is your preferred method of brain training, then this is definitely one to look out for. And to think I finished this without even making a single Star Trek reference. Beam me up, Scotty. .3D. Everyone's at it. James Cameron's at it. Even we're at it. Look. Ooh. That is groundbreaking. And Nintendo are at it as well, with their brand spanking new 3DS. To celebrate, they brought together a choice selection of 2D and 3D celebrities for a big old launch party in the heart of London's occasionally glamorous but mostly terrifying East End. We sent along our intrepid reporter, Steve Hill, to ruffle some feathers and give his verdict on gaming's newest multi-dimensional plaything.
Hello, I'm Steve Hill. I'm here in glamorous East London for the launch of this, the Nintendo 3DS. 3D gaming without glasses. Is it a simpleton's toy? Is it the future of interactive entertainment? Let's ask some random people.
I just saw it for the first time. It's amazing. How clever is that?
You can adjust it depending how far your eyes are apart. I'm not saying your eyes are quite
Really?
far apart, but do you think you'll be within the range?
Well, I just saw it and I was,
And
so
did it look 3D?
thanks for making me worry about it. I'm glad I didn't talk to you first.
I saw it briefly the other day, and to be honest, I felt like my vision was slightly impaired. I think it's probably going to take a bit of getting used to.
There's trickery involved there, isn't there? There's some sort of weird trickery.
Smoke and mirrors, I'm thinking.
I mean, is the real world, are we going to become 2D?
What would Patrick Moore make of it? It'd blow his mind, wouldn't it?
I think his mind got blown a long time ago.
Fantastic sort of innovation in terms of what you're looking at, but in terms of the actual gameplay, you know, I don't know how it really takes things forward.
My instinct would be that the majority of games will use 3D as a gimmick. Admittedly, an appealing visual gimmick, but will it make a difference to the way they play the game? Probably not.
I want to play Ridge Racer. I'm looking forward to Zelda. I'm really looking forward to when they finally get around to booting over Professor Layton. That's the one I'm looking for, and that'll be fun. Also, Pro Evolution Soccer will be good, I think, on 3D.
And you seem to come as Watty from The Exploited.
You seem to come as a but I didn't find that out.
Oxford Street HMV, 6 minutes past 11, 54 minutes until the 3DS launches. Idiots as far as the eye can see. Sonic has launched a rival attack. He's having a good chat with Mario. Let's go and see why these people are here. You spent the night here, have you slept?
I haven't slept, no. Just chilled in the alleyway, in a lovely cold alleyway.
Why don't you just come tomorrow and buy it or order it online?
Because you got to be here as soon as it's there, otherwise, you know, it just doesn't feel like you're putting in everything for it.
You don't get this kind of atmosphere. It's quite a good launch party. I mean, people are coming up and down giving us freebies. It's just such a fun night.
If you could sum up the 3DS in 3 words, what would it be?
Amazing.
2 more words.
Pretty damn cool.
And you're going to go and play it tonight, or you're going to go straight to bed?
I'm going to send her to bed and I'm going to play it, yeah, I think so.
What a waste.
Yeah.
Were you going to play it tonight?
I'd like to think I'll play it, but I think I'm going to have a little snooze and then when I wake up, session it for the whole day.
Fantastic. You're a nutter. Thank you very much. It's finally arrived. The dream is here. Glasses-free 3D. No longer have to sit around wearing these ridiculous bits of Quality Street on your eyes. The initial wow factor is impressive. And yeah, it does work. The only problem is if you slightly deviate from what is probably called the x-axis, you lose the picture. You get this kind of weird double vision thing. That is the main problem. You have to be looking directly at it, which does make you feel mildly nauseous and unhappy. Also, using it outdoors is a bit of a problem because you just get a reflection of your own hideous face. To be honest, I found the best place to use it is just alone in the dark, under the duvet in bed, which isn't in the advert. Clever though it is, the 3D effect comes at a cost. In fact, the game comes with its very own health and safety warning. Prolonged viewing of unclear 3D images can lead to eye strain, headaches, stiff shoulders, nausea, dizziness, motion sickness, fatigue and/or discomfort. Sounds like a good night out. Please refrain from using the 3D feature while travelling as a passenger in cars or on public transport. Essentially, they seem to be saying, do not use our console anywhere or you will die. So, the all-important games. There's about 12 titles at launch. We've narrowed it down to an approximate top 5. Let's go with Lego Star Wars 3. You know, the usual stuff. Who thought Lego and Star Wars would work? It's a bit like meat-flavoured ice cream, but it's been proven a success, and the same is true here. Street Fighter works really well. You know, they haven't just thrown it together. They've actually taken into account the console, bit of Wi-Fi stuff. The 3D looks great. Ghost Recon Shadow War, they've actually done something a little bit different here. It's a turn-based affair. So it's not that action-oriented, so you could almost play that on the train if the train wasn't moving. Pro Evolution Soccer, the only football title at launch, no sign of FIFA yet. In fact, the only sports title. Yeah, plays a decent game of PES, but the 3D can give you a cracking headache. Probably the pick of the lot, a very old franchise that Nintendo love to churn out. The 3D looks great, and yeah, it's just that right balance of kind of relaxed gameplay, chilled out music, and I'm not reading this, enables you to explore an idyllic island in glorious 3D. Cannot argue with that.
Yo, what's poppin'? Cloud 19th Australia. This is GameShock TV, keeping it fleet. Peace.
Another month, another visit from the ghosts of mutilations past. Following on from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Street Fighter 3D comes yet another way to enrage your grandparents with the gloriously bloody return of Mortal Kombat. Following strong fan demand, gaming's bloodiest fighter series has returned and gone back to its roots. Subtitled no longer and known simply as Mortal Kombat, the streamlining extends to some similarly pared-back gameplay, with the 2D fighting arena a welcome throwback to the classics. Harking back to its gory days with some suitably over-the-top fatalities, the series has never been the poster boy for restraint, but with more disembodied limbs in Jigsaw's bedroom, the action quickly punches through bad taste and straight out the other side to comical. All the old favourites are back, which certainly adds its own enticing nostalgia value, and PlayStation owners get the added bonus of lopping limbs with everyone's favourite anger management regular, God of War's Kratos. And just to show that the 3DS isn't the only way to get your extra dimensional fix, Sub-Zero and foes now sport their own pair of 3D bells and whistles on the PS3. For anyone with fewer pairs of glasses and friends though, the team have thoughtfully kept the polarisation to the backdrops, meaning players without specs should only suffer mild brain aneurysms while watching their characters' appendages get chopped off. The graphics themselves are good, if strangely dated, while the fatalities are joyfully intricate, especially the gruesome new X-ray attacks. It also has some new strings to its bow. Taking a leaf from Marvel vs. Capcom's book, Tag Team is now an optional extra, meaning you can pile on the carnage with another character as backup. It's not as intricate as Marvel vs. Capcom and won't worry its originator in that respect, but it's a nice way to liven up the format. There are some decent tournament modes for the hardcore player, and the game is just as accessible to the casual gamer too, with a fatality tutorial and some characters such as Scorpion easier to pick up. But perhaps by design, the gameplay feels a little too old school and slightly one note. When it comes down to it, it's pretty much the same old Mortal Kombat, albeit nicely polished, which may not do much to entice non-converts. Good news for avid fans of unadulterated carnage then, but for everyone else, its worth will mainly depend on how many Daily Mail reading relatives you wish to alienate. Well, now it's time for some people to sell you some stuff, but stay with us for more on Dirt 3, Battlefield 3, and the greatest sequel of them all, Part 2. See you after the break.